Hello everyone, welcome to another tier list. This time I'm going to be tier listing PlayStation consoles. This is every single PlayStation console that's basically existed. This includes like PS3 Slims, PS4 Pros, even the PS5. We got the PS5 Slim and the Pro model, um, and even the regular one. So I'm going to be doing this with the PS5s though. I'm not going to include the digital edition as a totally different thing. I'm just gonna go with like PS5 Slim Pro versions kind of thing. Yeah. Let's get this started with the god of all consoles, straight S tier PS2. The PS2 is truly incredible. The reason I'm S tiering it is mostly because it is the very first console I have ever played. Very good. It's gotten me into gaming. I don't remember much from back in the day. Obviously, nowadays I still play it. Totally different PS2 though. Don't worry, it's not what I grew up playing. I wish it was, but um, totally incredible console. Had one of the greatest lines up of just games. Like it has such great games for it. I mean, who can forget Def Jam, Fight for New York? Burnout 3, Grand Theft Auto games. Like, come on, it had some of the best games, man. Such good games. Even had like the beginning of most of them. Like I mean, the first 3D Grand Theft Auto started on the PS2. You had GTA 3. The first Max Payne came out on here, right? Like even God of War started off on this. Like just an incredible game. Um, yeah, it's got to be an S tier, man. The PS1. I did grow up playing too. PS1 was up there. I think the only game I remember playing was like Pac-Man World on it. I didn't have very many games as a kid with it. Um, I don't know, man. It did have some great games starting on it. You had like Final Fantasy on that game. Or Grand Theft Auto started off on PS1. Um, you had Silent Hill start off on PS1. Like there was some good games on PS1. I think the one thing that sets it back is the controller nowadays. Obviously, the controller is more reminiscent of like old Nintendo controllers, like the NES, with the way they kind of did it. I think they called it the dog bone sort of style or something. I could be wrong there. But yeah, definitely good. I think it was one of the best starts though. So I'm gonna give it an A tier, not a B tier. Also, I do want to mention, I just remembered with the PS2, who remembers when they would buy a game, they would open it up, take a look at the disc, and turn it around to the mirror side and see that it was blue. God, who remembers that? Dude, the blue discs for the PS2 was actually so cool. I wish we seen that today. This is the only console I think that's ever done that with different colored bottoms. Like it was so cool. I sadly I don't have a game currently for the PS2 that has that, but I hope in the future I do. Cause it was so cool, man. This is the PS2 Slim. What can I say about it? I never used the PS2 Slim, but it is smaller. It's still a PS2. I think it's good. I don't remember ever hearing people complain about it. So I think I'm just gonna A tier it because it's still good. Um, yeah, it would have been the same as PS2, obviously with games and stuff. But yeah. Also, who remembers the iToy for PS2? I never used the iToy, but I mean, I don't think it was that great. But it did also come out before Kinect, which was kind of just the Kinect again. So I guess you could say the Kinect was based off some the PS2 did quite a few years later. So pretty cool, pretty cool. What about the PS3? PS3 was probably my most memorable console I've ever played. I grew up playing that a lot too. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I never played the Slim though. I played this PS3. I think we started off with this one though, but it like broke, and then we ended up getting this one, which this one is the best version of the PS3. The PS3 had incredible games too. Um, I mean, Twisted Metal, like the reboot Twisted Metal, was one of my favorite games to play on there. Um, we also had GTA 4 was incredible. Who remembers Infamous? Like the old Infamouses? Those are so good. Nothing compared to what we have now with like Second Son and First Light. They're fine games, but they're nothing like the first two Infamous games. Um, Trying to think what else is on PS3. We had the God of War 3. Um, Man, what was so huge in the PS3? I don't remember a lot of good games on PS3. I know my first experience with Call of Duty was on the PS3. I bought um, I remember going to a game store here in Rocky, um, where I live. It was, I guess it's not a game store, it was a movie store, and they had a small game section. And I remember grabbing Black Ops 1 on the shelf, and we rented that game. Like, who remembers renting games back in the day? That was just insane. Like, just to think that we rented games. Like, God, that's something. Um, but yeah, I rented Black Ops 1 on the PS3, and that was my first experience with Call of Duty in general. I remember playing zombies on that. That was something. I was terrified as a kid. Um, Definitely great lineup of games. It also had other games that I never played that I know people know more, like Heavenly Sword. Um, I think the PS3, in my opinion, it was great. For the slim model, though, I think it was bad. Like, nobody liked the slim model for the PS3. I think the biggest disappointment was the fact that like, this mechanism would, like, slide over and your disc would go in there. And it also just doesn't look good. It kind of looks ugly. Uh, I'm gonna D-tier it just because I don't like the look of it. Like, it does look a little sleeker, but not as sleek as the Slim. We got the normal PS5. This was the launch PS5. This is exactly what I have in my room right now. This is probably my favorite version of the PS5. I know it's like I don't like the Slim model. I think the Slim just sucks the way it looks. The Pro is kind of the same way. I don't know. There's something about the original that just hits me hard. I love it. Um, it's also larger. I don't think that matters though. Um, the lineup of games is incredible so far, anyways. I know it's obviously still going. We're still getting games for it, so definitely really good. I don't think it's better than PS2 in terms of like you had a lot more to do on here than you would. Like it has some great features though. Like the controller is incredible for the PS5. Um, I don't know how to rate this. I might S tier it as well. It is in recent times one of my favorite consoles. So like the PS4 was great, but PS5 just does everything better. And you could still play PS4 games on it too, so why not, right? Like that's a bonus. Um, yeah. We got the PS4 Slim, which is the PS4 that I've used at all times. I've never had a different PS4. I remember my first PS4 Slim. Um, at first I dropped it when I was packing it up, which, fuck, I hated that. I dropped it and I broke the HDMI, so I had to get pretty much my entire power supply thing fixed, which sucks. And then I remember also playing that same PS4, and while I was playing, I remember this distinctively. I was playing Dying Light on it, and I remember we were just gonna go like my mom comes in, right? She's like, "Hey, you want to come watch a movie?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll go watch a movie." So I'm turning off my game, and I guess I was playing long enough that my PS4 overheated, and all I heard was like when I'm going to turn off the PS4, it just shuts off randomly, just gone, shuts off, without me even pressing turn off. And I'm like, well, okay, that was weird. I just whatever, right? I just go set the control down. I'm gonna go watch the movie. Well, I think like the very next day, I go back to go play the PS4, and now it's not turning on. I'm like, what is happening here? Why isn't my PS4 turning on? And turns out I had to replace the power supply again. So pretty cool. Um, I think I ended up getting rid of that one and I just bought a new PS4. And that PS4 I just so happen to still own today, so it's been going strong. But it's also a slim. It's nothing different. Um, and I do like the slim a lot. I think it's one of the best designs for the PS4. There's nothing too different I think about them either. I think the only difference is it's smaller. You can even do like VR and stuff in it too. Like there's not a difference really with the slim to the regular. Um, I think the slim is just an A tier for the PS4. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. This is just an S tier. Best PS3 ever, dude. Like I explained, it is the sleekest one. It is the best one. Obviously, the only difference is I know it's not backwards compatible. I think it was with the PS1 games. The OG PS3 was backwards compatible with both PS2 and PS3. Or no, what am I thinking? PS2 and PS1. Of course, it does PS3 though. But the Slim, I know it couldn't do. Maybe it was PS2 games it couldn't do. I know it couldn't do one of them, but it could do the other one. A little wonky though, but it also removed a few things like the SD card feature, I think. But honestly, I don't really think a lot of people use that anyways. So yeah, it was just better in general. The normal PS4, I did. My uncle had this one, and that's what I played uh, games on for a while until I got my own. Um, it's pretty normal. Um, my cat's playing with a box. That's what you guys are hearing. It's pretty normal. I don't really know what to tell you about it. I still think the Slim is better. I think I'm gonna B tier it. Like it's fine. It had great games, but like I mean the Slim can play the same stuff, and I think that's a better looking console in general. So yeah. The PS4 Pro. Now obviously it's more powerful than the normal one and the Slim. So actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna C tier this. I'm gonna B tier this and put this in A tier. Just because it is better than both of these in terms of power. Um, I know it added like an extra slab to the PS4 and it just made it bigger, but technically because it was more powerful, I think that's fine. I still think the PS4 like Pro isn't that large, especially when you compare it to like the PS5. So I think it's fine. Um, we got the PS3, the thing everyone called the barbecue back in the day. I still remember those memes. Um, I mean, it was like a super console back in the day, but it was also very expensive. And I think, especially nowadays, it kind of looks ugly. Like, I just don't think it looks that good. Um, I don't know, man. It was so pricey. Um, I think it's just way better if you buy the other PS3s. I still think it's better than that one. I think it's safe to say C tier, because this is definitely the worst one. You definitely don't want to buy this one, unless you just don't care about anything. But yeah, you got the PS1, not the PS1 with the number, but the PS1 with the letters. A little different. Um, I never played it, so I have no idea what's different about it. All I know is it's practically just a slim model of the normal PS1. So yeah, I don't know. I guess B tier. There's I don't think there's much of a difference. I think it looks a little worse. It's kind of circular, like more rounder than this one. I think this just looks great. Like everyone remembers this as the PS1 rather than this, you know? Kind of like how people remember this as the PS3 more than they remember, these two most of the time, right? So, yeah, whatever. We got the PS5 Slim right here. Um, I think the design looks worse. It also is like glossy rather than like the faceplates are like gloss rather than like the hard plastic these were. So you kind of get more fingerprints on these. I think the stand is worse. It looks dumb and it doesn't even go with it. Like when you buy a PS5 Slim, you have to buy it separately, which is the same with the Pro model, which I just think is dumb. So with the normal PS5, you get a stand for free. So I honestly don't know why Sony did that. I think that's the dumbest thing they've ever done. So I don't know. Uh, I'm probably gonna D tier it because I just don't like it. I think it was just a heavenly downgrade compared to the normal PS5. And I mean, that's most of the time what Slims are, is they're just a little bit downgraded versions of them. But this is like a mega downgrade. This thing just sucks. We got the PS5 Pro. I mean, it had some cool features, but it was super expensive. I don't know, man. I guess A tier, just because I'm not sure. It basically remasters your PS4 games, but I really don't see the point in that as much. Well, maybe there is. I don't really care personally for me, but whatever. I think this is fine. I think I'm okay with this tier list. This is good enough for me. 15 minutes is a lot shorter of a tier list, so that's pretty nice compared to my other ones. Um, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys have different opinions, I would like to know in the comments. What do you guys think of my tier list? What would you guys put as your normal S tiers? Would you guys do? I mean, a PS2 is pretty common, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would probably do PS2s in your S tiers. If you guys want more of these, let me know what you guys want. I could probably do those. We'll see. Um, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.